and you're going to see the 3B quiet fans here running, pushing the, actually pulling the air out through the radiator. Alright everybody, we are at a different stage here, and I did a lot off camera because this was actually a royal pain in the butt. As you can see, I still have things kind of lingering where it's not supposed to be, and all the wiring is still not right. So what I'm going to do in the very near future here is clean this up. I'm going to power it up here so you guys can see. You've probably seen water moving there. There's still a bit of bubbles here and there. So I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but you should see water running right here. Now, I shouldn't call it water. This is Corsair XL1 running through here, almost a whole bottle, because I kind of went crazy with long hoses to be able to move this around if necessary for maintenance. Now, that's the other thing. It's up here. It's not even where it belongs. So I had to have extra, and I had to make sure it was soft hose, because if it wasn't soft hose, then I'd be in a pile more trouble with the fact that hard tube I wouldn't be able to move. I'd have to disconnect it and reconnect it. And that's really the reason I use a lot of soft tubing and don't bother with hard tubing. Like if I want, even on a regular build, and I want to take off the block to do maintenance or change the processor, all I do is unhook it and bend it. Like, you can't do that with a hard tube. I got to drain the system, unhook it all, and remove it. So what I'm going to do now, and it will be off camera because nobody wants to see a cleanup here. I'm going to clean up all the wiring and get it mounted. Also, you may have noticed I took out the R7 354 gig and I put in a AMD Fire Pro W5100. It's still just a 4 gig, but it's a more current and more powerful card. I ended up getting one of these for around $45 during the video card hike. So to me, it was like a big win, because technically I think this is, I don't know, probably an RX 580 or 570 or somewhere in that category. It's in that era anyway, so it's a little more current, and it's way more than I need for this system. I had to move my hoses a bit more because, well, the other card was a little shorter, so I just had to pull more in. Another reason why I have longer hoses. My 3D printed piece right here is not holding up. I just kind of snap it back in place just to kind of keep it a spacer. And that's about it at this point. I'm done with trying to 3D print that. It is too thin. It's not going to last. So it does the job right now, and it's not touching metal, and that's all that matters. Also, you'll see that I did not hook up the ARGB for obvious reasons. I mean, these lights are working, but that's just default. I'm not going to do anything fancy with that. This is a workhorse, not a fashion statement, or I would have had better RAM in here. I'm just using what I have to keep the budget down, considering I had to go water. I just had to order another water block and everything from EK for the other build. So, I mean, my heart was set on the other build being all water and fancy looking, so I just couldn't do it. I will probably build it as air and then do it as water, just because I want to try out that, whatever it is, the Ripper cooler from Cooler Master, and a Ryzen Ripper, or whatever the heck they call it. I don't know. But I want to try it out. I bought it. I want to know what it's like. I wanted it in here. Tiny backfire. Okay guys, so what you're seeing here, of course, or not seeing, is it's a little dark here. I'm going to use my phone's light to show what is going on in here. And you're going to see the 3B quiet fans here running, pushing the, actually pulling the air out through the radiator. Haven't decided if that's the best way yet, or do I want it pulling in, but with the vents, I didn't want the fans pulling, I wanted them pushing. Right now this is temporary because I have to figure out how I'm going to house or bolt this onto the side. This in particular stand was a stereo rack, so it's got wood on the sides, which is exactly what I need for bolting this up and maybe shortening hose. I'm not sure yet. And then, of course, we have our pump, and it's running at about 27.6 degrees water temps. And so far, so good. I am running around, I guess, 24.2, 24.8 at any given time. I just have this camera unhooked right now to show it's not on my bar. I'm holding it freehold. This is how I had to come out for now. I'll figure out what I'm going to do with that later. I just wanted to have the system mounted and running, and the top is literally laid on so I can actually get to it instead of trying to pull everything out and, you know, unbolt it and blah, blah, blah. You can see the fancy lights going on in there. Still have somewhat of that left. And anyway, that is that in the rear here until it gets cleaned up. But that is the idea. That is what you didn't see before. And that, to me, is so cool. Wasn't my intention, but it ended up... Actually, none of this was supposed to be water-cooled. What does it look like in the front? Of course, getting drinks ready to go into the Xbox fridge. Of course, we have a drawer here. I haven't decided on what it's going to be used for, but there's the keys for the server right now. Yep, you know where they are now. So now you see here we have the venting system, and I can feel air just coming out, nice cold air coming out. I don't expect to really see a big push. I have more pieces right here, like my managed gigabit switch and stuff has to go in here yet. There's another drawer to go in, so there's going to be 3 drawers until I decide that I want to have another server or whatever in this. And of course, we have the big quiet fans here, pulling air in, going out the rear. We have our USBs here up front with our touch power button and reset and indicators, which for some reason, I don't know if there's supposed to be a power light. I have to look that up because there's no standard set power light that's on. I checked my connections, they were right. So it could either be just dud or whatever. There's a filter in here, of course, a foam filter. It does, in my opinion, stump the air movement a bit, but I might unscrew it from the front and take this whole piece out and maybe, you know, do a little more maintenance on the fans more often, just like quickly blowing them out or whatever. So I haven't figured out where this is going yet. I may have it underneath here where this mess is. That's right, big mess when I started water cooling and everything. I made you should have seen the mess that was here, people. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to update you on that, and I am so happy of how it turned out. It's running. Now I just got to figure out, as you can see up here, it is running, and now I just got to figure out what I need it to do and how I want it to do it. So this part of the server world that I'm getting into now is much different than what my other one is doing. So the other one's just basically backing up data and so on. This one I think I kind of want to play around. Maybe the other one will run my business, and this will be my toy. It's water cooled, it's a Threadripper, it's got tons of RAM, lots of hard drive. Guys, thank you for putting up with this video. It took forever because it is put up in 4K. It's a lot of rendering, and I just want to say thanks for watching. Thanks for being you. Until next time, game over.